Hi, hi everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening from wherever you're watching me all over the world. I remain my humble self, Lola Coach. I want to use this medium to appreciate each and every one of us watching us. Wherever you're watching all over the world. I'm a Nigerian, born and brought up in Nigeria, Lagos, Nigeria, and basically here in the US. I came to the US like 5 years ago, and there are a lot of things I found out that while we were brought up the way, lies, negative things that we were being taught while we were growing up. So I like as many people as much to join this stream wherever you're watching out from, either from Nigeria, from the US, if you're Nigerian, or if you're African, basically. What are those things that you were taught while growing up? That when you grow up, you find out it was a negative things that actually affected our lives. And one thing, I would like to share my own personal story. While I was young, while I was a child, um, we were taught that if you don't have things, if you don't have things in your house, that you don't have to convert other people things, right? It might be true. As parents, you train your children that they have to be contented with what they have and all that. But basically, emotionally and psychologically, it actually affects us while growing up, believing that you are comfortable with what you have, believing you are comfortable with whatever thing you have. You don't want to go, you don't want to move further, you don't want to stretch yourself. Why? Because we're taught that way. So and two, there are some things that while we're growing up we're told to do, and those things are, you need to read when you come back from school. After you eat, you have to read. Even if you want to play, growing up, if you want to play, you have to play for a while, little while, then you go back to your reading and all that. So, and if you want to be if you want to be a good child, you have to obey your parents. When your parents come back from work, they see you reading, and when you grow up with either your grandma or your grandpa, you grow up with an elderly people. They always say you, why? Because they because of the environments that we were in those days. We found out that people that were good to do at that point in time were the people are that are graduates, people who are learned. So they believe that you have to read and before you can become successful in life, you know. So why we grow up, we found out that here we are today, we have a lot of graduates doing stuffs, a lot of graduates on the streets, a lot of graduates hawking, a lot of graduates that are even homeless. Some are even home, some are still with their parents in their 30s, in their 40s. So, which we're not supposed to be. So, we have actually come to a generation where we want to know why things are not getting right, why we are not getting things right. So here in the US, when I came to the US, I want to make research. I made some researches. What were those? Even before I came to the US, I've read a lot of books, a lot of motivational books, personal development groups and books, self-development books that I found out that people who are successful, the people who knows about financial education, and then those were, some of them were even dropouts, some of them were not graduates, a lot of them were not graduates, and they were self-made millionaires. So I look up to so many mentors that I want to learn from them, because I, right from my childhood, I want to be a millionaire. I want to be wealthy. That's my dream. I want to be wealthy. But while growing up, I don't have the privilege of seeing people who are wealthy in my environments. So when I finished a first degree, I started working at a point, but I knew what I wanted. I don't want to go in an environment where, born and brought up in Lagos, you know what it means. You wake up very early, and before you go to your work, you have to be on the road for like an hour plus. Let's talk of now that some people spend 3-4 hours on the road before they get to their work. So in those days, I don't want to live such life. So we don't. I don't know that there are so many ways. There are ways that you can actually become millionaire. Not in that aspect. Not the way we were being brought up. And I found out that if you want to be wealthy, you have to look for someone who is wealthy. Learn from such person and do exactly what the person did, then you become wealthy. If you want to become a lawyer, if you want to become an accountant, that was what the school system taught us. So you go to school, do those things, and the school system taught us to be an employee. So if you want to advance, you become a professional in your discipline. Then you can say, oh, you want to establish yourself as a self-employed person and all that. But here we are in this environment. People who are wealthy is either they inherit it from their parents or they are self-made. They actually find out the way to become who they are today. So those things were not even taught in school. We were not taught financial education in school. While I was in secondary school back home, I was a commercial student. I want to become an accountant, yeah, right? So after that, we went to do an icon. We went for an icon, and all those things. Just want to become an accountant. We thought by doing that we can become wealthy. Although, and mind you, when you do that, you go in a professional way. They train you to either become a professional expert in your field to an organization. So I looked at myself. I said, no, I needed someone. I needed someone who is there who can teach me. And God helping me, I came across a man and asked a series of questions, and he said, "If you can read, you learn a lot. If you can read," and I started reading from one book to another, from one book to another, from Retire Young, Retire Rich. I read the book, and the book changed my life 360-degree. You know, started reading books. And as I was reading the books, actually, I found out that the people that I was with then, they had different, what's it called, philosophy about financial education. So I never talked about it. So if you really want to become who you are, if you have a mentor, look at what you look for in that mentor. If you also need to have something, and if for you to have something, you need to grow yourself. You need to learn by reading books. I found out now that those programming, while growing up, you want to play, you want to watch TV, you want to do this, you want to do that, all those things, man, if you are grown up, you need to take those things off your mind. You need to take those things off your mind. Even people to nowadays, you see a lot of people, they're on social media for 10 good hours. And it's not as if they're making money on social media, just scrolling from one social media to the other, from one social media to the other. So when I learned some things these days, and I found out that, oh, we're growing up, so we are doing things based on the upbringing that we were taught those days while growing up. And it's immensely affected our relationship, our lives, our action, the things we ought to do. You want to limit yourself. Why? Because you believe you are comfortable. In here in the US, people work for bills, so pay bills. They pay their bills and they're okay for the months. So we need to sit down. What do we really want in life? Even as a child, while growing up, you ask a child, what do you want? They'll listen to other people, their peers. And because someone said he's a doctor, you want to become a doctor, the other person will say, I want to become a lawyer. Another person will say, I want to become this, I want to be, just because all people around them are saying it. But as time goes on, when we grow up, we find out those things were not true. Those things were not actually easy for us to become those things. We have people who spent years in school, and at the end of it, they graduate, they remain broke. They remain broke. So we found out that a lot of people don't understand how life works, or we were not taught how life actually works. So I want to appreciate people who are joining right now. I want to say thank you very much, and I want you to leave a comment. You just leave a comment on this video. If you want to share your own personal story about what you have been taught while you're growing up, you can also be part of it. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. So, as I was saying, a lot of people grow up with different mindsets, different belief system, things that we're taught, things that we see around us, things that we see people doing, things that we had experience we experience it in a positive or negative ways, and those things affect our lives, affect our thinking, affect our actions, affect our limitation. We don't even know where we are going. You ask some people now, what do you want? They won't tell you, they won't give you a specific answer. You ask someone, what do you want? They won't give you a specific answer. Why? Because they don't know what they want. A lot of people are working every day. They don't really know what they want. What everybody will tell you they want is money. Everybody wants money. But money is a value. If you don't give value, you can't have money. We were not taught that way. The more value you give, the more money you make. So when you have a job, they give you a wages or salary or paycheck based on what you are giving to the organization. And when you stop working there, your income stops, your paycheck stops. So if we truly sit down and think, go back to why you are still very young. What are those things that you have passion for? What are those things that you find out to be very comfortable with? Your dreams growing up. You find out that most of our dreams while growing up were not what we are doing presently. So if you are not doing what you dreamt of while growing up, that means you are not working in God's purpose for your life. That is it. Seriously. Everybody want to be on social media today just because they want what's it called, followers. People come on social media today just because they find out that, oh, social media is paying. It goes beyond that. It goes beyond, you have to touch lives. You have to impact lives. So you can't impact lives if you don't even know who you are. If you don't know who you are, growing up with so many things, so many garbage that sabotage our lives, sabotage our thinking, sabotage our mindset, sabotage so many things. Oh my God. I found out so many things here in the US, and I linked it back to my upbringing. I wanted to cry. Look at the years. Look at the years that I've spent living with such garbage, believing that those things were true, and they were not true. They were not true. In those days, you have parents. You don't you Your parents are not learned, or some of them are learned. Those ones that were learned in those days, they don't even have time for their children. They want their children to become doctor, lawyer, to become an accountant, to become this, to become that. That's the reason why they, okay, you have to read, become somebody great. You have to read this and that. You become somebody great. Now, here we are. We have so many graduates out there. How many of them, how many of the graduates we have out there are successful? How many of the graduates out there that we have today during our own generation Z, the millennials? How many of them? But now, we thank God, millennials are changing so many things. The millennials are the generation Z. Because we found out that those things that our parents taught us were lies. Growing up in those days, you have a food, they put meat or fish on your food, and they tell you you have to finish your food before you eat your meat or whatever. Those things, imagine. Imagine those things. Imagine you did something wrong. In those days, you were being punished, and they didn't tell you the reason why they punish you. So many times we were being punished in those days, and our parent never told us this is the reason why. And the next time you do something of such, you just look at it and you be expecting them to punish you. And look at it today. You are in an organization, working in an organization, and you expect your employee to become your main boss, like in Nigeria. That you see the way you see people, that most especially those that call themselves belt boss, when their employees see them, they want to carry their bag, they want to do this, they want to do that. All those things were lies. Were those things were lies. You can't walk up to your employer in those days and ask them questions. But today, you can walk up to people who are doing things and ask them questions. They'll tell you what to do. In those days growing up, people will not tell you how they make it. I'm telling you, people will not tell you how they became who they are. But today, a lot of people who are successful. They want other people to become successful. In as much as you can submit yourself to learning and you can change. So this in this live stream, I just thought of it. I said, I think I need to share this information to people out there. Be mindful of the thought. Be mindful of people who transfer information to your life. Be mindful of people who tell you things to do. Be mindful of people who tell you, oh, this thing is not possible. You want to share your dream. You have a dream and you want to share it with somebody that does not even have any dream, that doesn't have something doing, that is not where you want to be. You are asking information from the wrong people. What do you expect them to say? They tell you, oh, this economy is not the right time for you to do. They will always tell you that they will sabotage that dream that you have. So you have a dream, you need to ask the right people. You ask the right people. People who are doing it already, who will tell you, yes, it's possible. You can do it. If you can do it this way, if you can do it that way, we learn by doing things. We learn by acting on the things that we know. So I want to use this medium to appreciate the life that God has given to us. In as much as you are living, there is hope. In as much that as you are living, there is hope for you to change. You cannot change the economy, you cannot change the government, you cannot change people, you can only change yourself. Who do you want to become? Change yourself, change your thinking, change your mindset, change your action. You see how your life will change. This does not change except we accept change. When we're talking about miracles, even in the Bible, the miracles that were recorded in the Bible, the people that had an encounter with miracles, if you ask them questions, they prepared for such miracles. People that had an encounter with Jesus Christ, they had it in mind before they met him that they are going to become old. They had it in mind because they believe. They believe that if they will meet with Christ, if they have an encounter with Christ, their problem is going to be solved. So the first thing you need to do is to believe in God and you believe in yourself. If you believe in God and believe in yourself, you can do great things. Not believing in other people. People that you are asking things. The wrong people you are asking did not see the vision. They didn't catch the dream. They didn't catch the goals. You have the goals, you have the dream, you have the vision. You know where you want to go. So they won't see it until you bring it out, until you show it to them. That's when they will get the vision. But when you have not shown, there's not how people will see. So I tell young folks, it's not, you don't chase money. Money will come naturally when you do what you need to do. People want money. Everybody wants, even a child wants money. Everybody wants money. But forgetting the part that you need to do your own part, you need to do some things, you need to put some things in action, you need to put some things into place before you can get the money. The money will flow naturally. It will flow naturally. But do your own part, do your own assignment, do your own work. So many garbage we have in there that we need to renew. So many garbage we have in our mindset that we need to take off, that we need to change the way we think, the way. See, I tell you, if you don't have the opportunity of reading the Word of God, read at least 5 or 10 minutes. Start with that every day. Read the Word of God. Read Bible. So after Bible, make sure you read to grow yourself personally every day, at least 30 minutes. So there's this one of my role model back then in Nigeria. He said, if you can read and you won't read, you are not different from the person who can't read. That is it. So if you're someone that can read, you call yourself a graduate and you want to read. So I remember in those days growing up, while I was then back home, while I was in school, while I graduated, we were jubilating. Everybody were jubilating that, oh, thank God, oh, no need of reading books, oh, no burning candles, no more this, no more that, and all that, no more burning candles in the nights. Mind you, the day you stop learning, you start dying. So we learn every day. You find out that when every day on a daily basis, you find out that when you know something, there's still a lot that you still didn't know that you need to learn on. So you have to make it, you have to inculcate that habit to learn. Learning is good. You are learning to grow yourself. You are learning to discover who you are. You learn from other people. You learn from your own self also. You learn from people's mistake. I love the Word of God. I love Bible. Seriously, the Bible is a role model that we can follow. In the Bible, you have people who are good role model, the one who are negative role model. So it's a choice. Your choice is to determine, oh, this is the kind, and the punishment that's attached to it, and the promises attached to those who are of a positive impact. So in this life also, you want to become great, you want to become somebody in life, you need to learn. The learning part is what people don't like to hear. But the truth is, whatever thing you're looking for, whatever thing that you want out of life, you can't get it until you learn, because learning is the beginning of success. Learning is the beginning of knowledge. So when you learn, you begin to know that, oh, I don't know some things. And you immediately need to act on it. You need to act on what you have learned. So if you are someone that can sit down and watch TV, you can watch what's it called, Netflix. You can watch what's it called, YouTube for the whole day, or for 2 hours, 5 hours. You are still on social media watching, scrolling. You need to stop it. You need to stop it. You must have something that you want to achieve, and you must have something you're working on a daily basis. You can't embark on a journey if you don't have the end in mind before you start the journey. It's just like you want to drive. If you want to drive a car, you must have where you are going before you start your car. Imagine if you don't have where you are going in mind and you're starting to move a car. What does that mean? It means you will keep on driving from morning to night. So we need to sit down. What is it that we want out of life? What is it? That is, see, that is the learning. That's the first steps that we need to take. What is it I want out of life? So you see, when we talk about money, I need money. I need this. See, money it will come naturally when you do what you need to do. To make money is the easiest thing. I'm telling you. In this generation, we are just so fortunate in this generation that we have a lot of platform that we can learn from. Gone are those days. Why I was doing my what's it called, projects in the university those days. We went to the library to make more findings, researches. You go to different libraries. You wrote your project yourself. You did it yourself. This was what I did. Went to different libraries to make researches and all that. But today, everything is online. There are good ways, there are good things, there are good ways of learning things online. There are ways that you can get book. If you want to get book here in the US, if you want to get book and you want it delivered to you tomorrow, you can order for the book now and you get it tomorrow. Those days back home, if I have any money, the first thing that comes to my mind is to get a book to read. Get a book to read. Get a personal development book to read. Leadership. on money, on success, and all that. So and those things unconsciously, I was learning one or two things from those books that actually transformed my life. It evolutionized my life. That, oh, those things I learned while growing up were lies. Were lies. Lies. I'm telling you, lies. So here we are today. We have a lot of our friends growing up today. If they stop reading, they didn't know all those things, they didn't develop themselves. You just imagine where you are today. If you didn't work on yourself now, I bet you just 6 years is like, before you know, time, see how time flies. So if you want to change your life also, you need to act now. You need to begin to act on it now. Start with personal development, listen to audio books, listen to motivational books, listen to messages, role models, people that see. I must tell you this story. While growing up back home in Nigeria, the first time I saw a woman, a female, driving a car was while I was in Primary 5 then, Primary 5 or Primary 6. In those days, I grew up with my grandma, and there was not much. So in those days, we went to the market, and during the rainy season, in market in Ketu, they call it Jakonde markets. Those days, so people when people come, those days the market was a very rough market. In the rainy season, when people come out, you have to make sure that you wash your leg before you can continue your journey, and all that. So I and my brother, we came up with an idea that, oh, we should come with a bowl, and listen, we get a water, and as people are coming out, we wash their legs, and we collect money for that. So there was a day that those people, they call them Kai in those days, they came around and they found out that we're doing that. They just packed all our bowls and the water, they just splashed the water away, and they drove off. And we're trying to trace them down to under the bridge, under Ojota Bridge in those days. So as I and my brother were just walking, we're walking behind the car to just know where the vehicle was going. So I stood by the corner of the road highway, and I was just thinking as a child, then I was like 9 or 10 years old. So I was just thinking, looking. So there was a traffic that day, and I saw a car. I looked in the car and I saw a female driving. I was that was the first time seeing a woman driving a car. That was, I think I was 9 or 10. I can't remember. I said, wow, one day I'm going to drive a car. One day I would drive. I told myself I would drive a car in those days. Those days were tough period for me while growing up. And I remember that dream. It's always stick in my mind. Any movement, anywhere I want to go, any action I want, I always have it in mind that I must drive a car. I must drive. And back home, you know how tough Nigerian is. Nigerian was, even in those days, how tough is. Even when I left Nigeria, it's got to a point when I started developing myself, personal development, read a lot of books, Richard Branson books. I can't even mention names. Robert Kiyosaki, so many of them. Think and Grow Rich. So many books. I didn't have money. So many times I would not have money. I would just embark on a journey. I said I'm going somewhere, and I'll go. As God will have it, I will meet mercy on the way. God will, so many. My journey was a very tough one, very very tough one, and here I am today. Today, this is going to be my sixth car that I'm using. Send car to people in Nigeria. Send car to my siblings. So now, why am I saying this? There was a dream, and I made sure I achieved the dream. Even before I left Nigeria, I tried as much as possible to get a car, to buy car in those days. I would go to the car dealer when I didn't even have 1,000 naira in my account. Go to the car dealer and start pricing cars in those days. Oh my God. So, I was actually preparing myself. I was preparing myself that this is what I want. Even my spirit at that time want those cars. So why am I saying this? You must have a goal. Work with people that can help you achieve your dreams. Don't work alone. There's no successful person today that works alone. People have mentors. People have role models, people that they can look up to and ask them questions. They don't ask people who are not doing what they want to do. Imagine if you want to, if you want to become wealthy, asking a poor man how to become wealthy. Does it make sense? Or asking somebody that is not doing things, you want to do something, you have a plan, you have a project. So you need people who are there, who can help you, who can lift you up to where you want to be. So you see that mindset of always thinking of money, always thinking of money. Money will flow naturally. You have to change your mindsets. You have to think of, who am I? You need to know who you truly are. And in the process of discovering who you are, you can always have side also. Yeah, you can have side also that will take care of your bills. But don't base your mind on those things. Make sure you are focused. You know where you are going. Make sure you are doing your assignments. Take all it needs you to do. You have to make sure that you are not being a selfish person. You ask people, even if you ask a child what he needed money for, a child will tell you, I need money. That's telling you, I want to buy this, I want to buy that, I want to buy this, I want to buy that. If you don't have a plan, if you don't have a goal, even when you have the money, when the money comes, it will just wander away. We've seen a lot of people who made money, who made millions, after a couple of months or years, they went back to zero. Why? Because they did not understand financial education. You said financial education we're talking about here is not something that the school system taught us. We were not taught in school. School system will never teach you financial education. You discover that yourself and you begin to grow yourself if you want to become wealthy, if you want to become rich, if you want to understand the game of money, you need to learn it. And when you learn it, you're going to be happy. You do it. And when you learn it, when you do it, you get the result, you are going to live a fulfilled life. You begin to see that this is now life. You understand life, and you will want to touch other people's life. It's just like you accept Jesus into your life. When you are broken, we have people who are Christians today and they are not broken. But when you become a broken child of God, hey, you don't want to add it to yourself. You want to tell people about Christ. That is how money works. When you become wealthy, when you are there, you will find it very easy for you to tell people that, yes, you can do it. We have so many millionaires today that the world discovered, where majority of them were self-made millionaires. They came from nothing. Go check their background. But just because they actually put themselves into learning, because they submit themselves to know, to learn things and to do it. I want to tell you this. Things that the successful people are doing, and the one that the unsuccessful people are doing, is just based on discipline. Discipline, just discipline. The little things that counts does not also count. As little as waking up in the morning, doing a 10-minute exercise, doing prayer, doing devotion for 30 minutes, as little as reading like 10 pages of books every day, as little as eating a nutritious food every day, it's not also it's not. You can easily say, oh, I don't want to do it, and you won't have, it doesn't have any impact on you at that moment. It's just a matter of time. Those little things that counts, and the one that does not count, is just a matter of time. Is the end that will justify the means. So what you are doing today, in the next 5 years, will show if truly you are doing the right thing or the wrong thing. So look at your life the last 5 years ago, what you are doing today, the results you get today, trace it back to 5 years ago. Is it the same? If it is the same, that means you are not doing something right. You are doing the wrong thing. So you need to change. You need to change your mindset. If you want things to change, you have to change. If you want to get the result, you need to do the right thing. Discipline yourself to do those things that needed to be done as soon as possible. Look at the top priorities of things you need to do every day and make sure you do it as little as it might be. Make sure you discipline yourself to do it. Those were the things. Those were the things that the rich teach their children. Those were the things that the successful people teach their children. I came here and I found out that, so see, I found out that those things that were told were lies. Were lies. You don't even need money to make money. I'm telling you that. You don't need money to make money. All you need to do, all you need is idea. Idea rules the world. Idea rules the world. So you see some people, they want to start something, say, oh, hey, I don't have the money. I don't have. See, there are some things that you also need to stop saying to yourself, say to life every day. Stop using the word I don't have. Don't ever use that word again. I don't have. I can't do it. I can't afford it. Take it off your mindset. Take it off your speech on a daily basis. Instead of that, say what you want for yourself every day. Every day. Even if it were not, say it. Say it. Before I got a US visa, I'd already told people I had a visa. Not I was broadcasting it, but I told the people that were closer to me, I have US visa. Yeah. And they believed it. So you need to tell your life lies, some lies, positive lies. I'm not talking about negative lies. I'm talking about positive lies. I am a billionaire. I'm great. Those were the promises of God for his children in the world, in the word of God. So you call yourself a child of God and you don't know your inheritance. You are not claiming it just because you do not know. Hey, the children of God are not claiming their inheritance because they don't know who they are. That is it. The word of God said, you shall eat the fruit of the land. You will eat the fruit of the land is only when you know the fruit of the land belongs to you. So if until you discover who you are, until you discover yourself, that is when you begin to walk in God's direction for your life. We are God's children. This earth that we are belongs to God and belongs to God's children. You need to claim your position. You need to claim your own inheritance here on earth. So don't use the word I can't. Go to a royal, people who come from a royal family, they train them right from that they are king, they are prince. They train them that they are not ordinary. So that is how we're supposed to be. That is the frequency we're supposed to be as a child of God. So why is it that people who are not children of God are actually become wealthy? It's because they understand the nature. They understand how life works. You attract what you have in your mind. You attract whatever thing you say to your life, whatever thing you say to your destiny. The universe bring it back to you. When you start cursing your life, cursing yourself, you are bringing it back to your life. If you start saying good things about yourself, saying good things about your life, you also attract it to your life. So, it is a very wide topic. Very, very wide topic. So many things, so many things. If you look down to your life, if you look down to our lives and see what we are doing today, you will trace it back to the way we are being brought up. Sit at home while growing up. You say, sit at home, don't go anywhere. Sit at home. I don't want to see you anywhere. Walk around or play around. Just read your books. And in those days, you read your books as if you want to, if you're, if you're an obedient child, you read when you are tired, you sleep off. So you're being comfortable. You just want to do things. You don't want to offend anybody. You just want to do things, And we grew up with that life, with that mindset. Things are not doing good. Sit down, expecting miracle to start. People expecting God to just throw manna from heaven. No, it doesn't work that way. Even look at people who won lottery. Give them years. How many of them do you hear become great later? So it's because people don't understand the foundation of money, the psychology behind money. Financial education is very key. You need to know about it. You need to do, if you know about it, you know, you have the education, you have the mindset, then you use the tool well. So the mindset, the skill set, and the tool sets. If you don't have the mindset, you don't have the skill set, you can't use the tool. The tool is the money. A lot of people become a millionaire suddenly, but they were not able to sustain it. Why? Because they don't have the of how money works. We weren't taught that way. I'm telling you, we weren't taught. So we need to take due diligence and make sure that we submit ourselves to learning. Make sure that we don't teach our children the wrong thing. Let them express themselves. Let your children see you doing things positively. Let your children see discipline in you. We are very good Africans. African mothers are very good at disciplining a child. But when it comes to discipline ourselves in some areas, about money, about character, morality, and all that, we ourselves lack those things. We ourselves lack those things. So, and we are the first role model to our children. We are the first role model to our children. So you do majority of what you're doing now, majority of the things you're doing now were things that we saw our parents doing. Yes, and those things were not right. So thank you. I want to appreciate everyone that joined the live stream. I want to say thank you to you. And I believe you learned one or two things. And I believe you were able to relate to this topic I'm talking about today. So if you want us to talk more on any topic that has to do with any of the things we're being brought up with that were actually lies, you can just comment, send a comment to me. Or if you have any topic that you need clarity on when it comes to coaching, leadership, financial education, self-development, personal development, that you feel you want to know more about it, you can send me a message and I'll reply you. Thank you so very much and God bless you. Have a wonderful day. Bye.